Physician science creates an electronic monster so terrifying, only screams can describe it.
Come back home. Come back home.
According to the evidence, Hennessy was murdered by a creature with atom rays of superhuman strength, and a creature that cannot be killed by bullets.
I said I would live to see you die.
I just came from the Bureau. They checked the murderer's fingerprints. His name is Willard Pierce. They let me have it from the files.
Petty theft, fraud, 3 months in prison, tuberculosis.
How could a tubercular man have strength enough to break those bars like that?
You think that's something? Answer this one. How could a dead man have strength enough to do it?
Fantastic, but based on scientific fact.
Planes. How low they're flying?
You will stop all planes and trucks searching for radioactivity. If you do not, many people will be killed. There will be no other warning.
Hello! 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 They hung up before I could put a tracer on it.
Slow down, Dave.
Dave, did they? No.
Go out and kill them.
Get a load of this, folks. It says here, a constant menace to pilots are the gremlins who wreck planes with their diabolical sabotage. Gremlins. Oh, murder. Gremlins. What a fairy tale. Little man. Oh, brother. What's all the hubbub? Bub?
These blockbuster bombs don't go off unless you hit them just right.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Hey, Mac. Let me take a whack at it. What am I What's it? Say, do you think that... Hey, could that have been a gremlin? It ain't Vendel Vilkey! Well, did you hit the head, woman?
Which way did he go, George? Which way did he go?
That way.
Well, gee, thanks a lot, George. Thanks a lot.
What's the matter, Bunny Rabbit? Speak to me. Why don't you say something? I'm only 3.5 years old.
I like him. He's silly.
We ran out of gas.
Yeah, you know how it is with these A-cards.
Those faces, those terrible faces, I can't stand it. Look, there they are again.
Don't be scared, folks.
No, it's only us.
You
Oh, don't sneak up on me. You know I'm nervous. I could have spilled everything all... Uh-huh. Oh, there you are.
If you think that's a tangle, wait until you see what happens to Dean and Jerry when a gang of ruthless killers get on their trail.
Somebody's got to move.
The heat's on in New York, so they stow away on a cruise to Cuba.
Now I know what a sardine feels like.
But the chill is on in the haunted castle of Lost Island when the boys go spook hunting with beautiful Elizabeth Scott.
Good evening, goblins and ghouls, and welcome to the Friday Night Scream Stream. I'm your host, Spakenstein, joined as always by my very good friends, Mr. Evan Sink, who right now is
a little frozen in time,
but that happens. Mr. Evan Sink, there he is.
There I am.
There he is, Mr. Evan Sink.
Good evening. Good evening. How are we doing?
And
lots of echoing.
Great.
Starting strong.
Starting very strong. Trying different things with the setup tonight, and what you know, there's so much echoing.
We've got some gremlins in the machine.
The gremlins. Yeah, that's what it was. Of course, I showed the gremlin thing, and now we get nothing but gremlins.
Can you do something to unfreeze my video, please? It's also frozen.
Yeah, we'll work on Fresh's video as well, as you can see.
He's been frozen in time for quite a while now. He's looks cold. He's turning blue.
Little blue.
It'll be fine.
You'll live, right? I mean...
Yeah, everything's fine.
Everything's fine. We're fine. We hope you guys are fine out there tonight. Joining us for another wonderful public domain horror movie here in October. We're in the thick of it right now.
Halloween's coming in on us fast.
Halloween is coming in real hot. We're super excited for it. I'm super excited for it.
Dude, I hate Halloween.
Oh, yeah, you would hate Halloween, Fresh. You would.
Fuck Halloween, dude.
Overrated.
I guess
all that fun and candy and all the it's dude, just no. Fuck out of here, dude. I'm leaving my porch light off. If you come on my property, I swear to God, I'm calling the cops.
Oh God. Well, he is a Scrooge. You're right, S-Sync. That is the biggest Halloween Scrooge I've heard of in some time. I'm very surprised at you, Fresh.
The Halloween Scrooge.
The Halloween Scrooge, isn't he?
Fuck all this. Fuck it. It's so loud. Everyone's making all this noise and wanting candy. Go away.
What happens if you just throw candy at kids? Like,
I don't
Like
think
out of a gun or what?
I mean,
candy gun would
candy
be a
gun,
little
okay.
fun. You could probably get away with that. Depending on
Like
the
how
candy.
bad can they like? They can't really complain because they still get candy. Would they? If I was a kid, if somebody's throwing candy at me, I'm just taking the candy and cutting my losses. I'm out of there.
I would load up a shotgun shell with candy. So it's not just like going fast, it's going like dangerously fast.
Right.
Dangerously fast.
That's the trick and treat. You give them a little scare, and then you give them the sweet.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
The trick.
And it's all candy corn. It's all candy corn. The best candy ever.
Who doesn't love candy corn? Come on. I mean, it's festive. You cannot candy corn all you want, but you can't have Halloween without candy corn. They're synonymous. It's the...
You know what I like? Is that candy corn has corn in it in the form of high fructose corn syrup.
Yeah, that's true. It's corn all the way down.
Actually a good point.
Yes.
I never thought of it that way. And just real quick, S-Sync, I don't know if our echo's gotten any better. I've been trying some.
We're in a cave.
We're in a cave with some gremlins, and they're throwing our voices all over these walls, and we don't know left from right now. Great. Wonderful. I'm gonna keep playing with it. I thought I was doing things that were gonna, fix things, and
well, stop playing with it and fix the audio.
Wouldn't you know, just muck it up. But
that's what he said. Yeah, exactly. That's what he said. Yes.
Okay. Well, suffice to say, thank you everybody for joining us tonight. Got another whopper in store for you guys. We had a pretty interesting movie last week with the giant Gila monster. Fresh wasn't here for that. Fresh actually hasn't been here in a couple weeks, and I didn't really take the opportunity to welcome you back, but welcome back, Fresh.
Good to be back. It's good to be back in the saddle again, getting some saddle time in.
Yes, you gotta make sure if you're off the saddle too long, then you have a hard time hopping back on. So we're glad that you're hopping back on with us tonight for King of the Zombies, which is a 1941 Poverty Row movie from Monogram Studios. It's a horror comedy, an early horror comedy. So we're in store for some laughs tonight, although that comes with a caveat, which I'll get into a little later. But it's still, I think we're in store for some fun, zombies, some pre-World War II intrigue. It's some of us never grow up. What does that mean, Fresh?
We're in high school.
We're still in high school.
Mm-hmm.
We're man children.
Peter Pan. No, not like that. I mean, we age. We just don't grow up.
Not like that. No. We are still in high school, and that's where we're watching these cheesy ass movies, just like we were in high school. And this is some quality cheese, I think, for a number of reasons.
Some aged cheddar.
Again. It is literally the same.
Some things never change.
Watching crappy old zombie movies. I don't know. This may actually be pretty good. I actually have not seen tonight's film. Found some very interesting tidbits, some interesting facts about it that I'm excited to share tonight. So it's gonna be fun. Oh, great! No, Fresh. I would like you to be giving your Cars 2 commentary while we're doing the commentary for King of the Zombies.
I think that one's also about zombies.
They show up somewhere in there, right?
I think so.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I thought so. I thought we got some zombie action in Cars 2 at some point. Suffice to say, we're gonna have some zombie action tonight, which is always good. Can't go wrong with some old school zombie action. So very excited for that. As always, Evan brings us a delightful cocktail to pair with the evening's film in a little segment which we call
What were you drinking?
What were you drinking?
So tonight we're drinking. Well, I should say that tonight's drink is kind of a remix because we've already had the obvious choice, the zombie. I want to say maybe all the way back in season 1, maybe, or maybe early season 2. It's been a little while. So I thought that instead of just rehashing this exact same drink, might mix it up a little bit. So what we have tonight is an original. This is a Scream Stream original that I'm calling the King Zombie. This is mostly the same as the regular zombie. It's light rum, dark rum, pineapple juice, lemon juice, lime juice, grapefruit juice, some simple syrup, some aromatic bitters, and I'm substituting some Crown Royal King Zombie.
That's where you get the fancy factor in.
Ah, because they drink Crown Royal in the movie.
Exactly.
Well,
because zombies love whiskey. So I'm
That's-
gonna give this a little shake.
That's a fact.
It's just like any good cooking show. I've already made it before the show.
Don't worry, Fresh. I won't say anything.
Okay, thanks.
I'm very excited for this.
We're gonna give this a try.
Yes. Ooh. All right. Very, very interesting aroma. Probably those aromatic bitters.
Yeah, a lot of fruity notes.
Mm-hmm. Yes, exciting. All right. Well,
Like a gay piano bar. A lot of fruity notes.
Boo!
All right, cheers.
Cheers. That is pretty good.
Yeah, wow.
That actually is
really
it's
good.
it's very smooth.
It's weird. It's almost like it's got an apple taste to it, but it's not
I
apple.
think it's the grapefruit. I think that's what I'm tasting.
That's gotta be it.
Oh yeah, I can taste. Yeah.
Can you taste that? You're not getting too much of a hint of Solo Cup in there, are you, Fresh?
No, I'm just getting a little bit of a. Yes, very sour. Yes.
Is this sandalwood?
Sandalwood. It could be.
There seems to be grapes in this.
Well, yeah. That was all you had around the house was grapefruit juice. So what are you gonna do? You
I see.
But all you had was grape juice, right? So you substitute what you got.
Grapes are a fruit.
Grapes are a fruit. That's right. So it works. But yeah, this is a delicious cocktail. A Scream Stream original, an Evan Sink original. So kudos on another great cocktail. Very, very good.
The king is in the house. I've, actually, so we established earlier, I think this season, that Charles, he's got the chair, but the real King of England is me because I called dibs.
Right. Yeah. So you're still not letting. This is still your hill to die on, huh?
Yeah. I'm still. Well, I don't know. The prime minister seat is open now, and I'm kind of thinking, maybe I wanna do that instead. So might throw my hat into the ring. I called Liz Truss, but she didn't answer.
No answer, huh? Well, I mean, she had a lot of probably, I think, more important things going on this week.
Yeah, that's right. Can I last longer than Liz Truss?
I mean, if a head of lettuce can last longer than Liz Truss did you guys see that one?
I did. That was very good. Very good.
Head of lettuce.
I heard that they've already got the resignation letter from the next prime minister.
What? Oh, yeah. It makes sense. That definitely makes sense.
You have to write it in advance before they give you the seat. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, at this point, you might as well. It just seems like their political system over there is all about yelling at each other. And if all you're going to do is get yelled at the whole time and you can't take it.
It's a stressful job.
Yeah, you might as well go ahead and get your resignation letter prepped as soon as you take the job.
Stressful. It's just theater with extra steps.
Yeah, that's actually very true. Isn't it? It really is.
You get really, really dressed up so you can do nothing.
Mm-hmm. You just sit there.
They're like, the president of the United States is coming in. You got to be here and shake his hand.
Well, I mean, that's decorum, right? That's I mean, it's.
I'm just saying, I wish I had a job like that. That's all I'm saying.
I wish I had a job like
my job is just to yell and do nothing. That sounds great.
Can't beat that.
Yell, do nothing, and you don't have to apply. You're just born into it. So. Be awesome.
Yep, true. Doesn't get much better or easier than that, does it?
How much less work can you do? You don't even have to apply.
Nope. No, you don't. Nope. I mean, gosh, you could be a horrible, horrible, terrible, terrible person, and you could hold on to all your titles and everything for decades, like a certain prince who will remain nameless. But everybody knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, he might be watching, Gary. You wouldn't want to piss off the British royalty.
Oh, no. Certainly the fact that Evan's claiming dibs on Charles' sequel wouldn't anger them enough already.
You're going to get a letter in the mail. He does not have dibs.
Yeah, come on. If they're going to be up in arms over anything, it's that. They're coming for you, Evan. Watch out. The royal family's going to send some football hooligan up in here to break your legs. You never know. You really don't. It's the world we live in nowadays.
Well, I'll be eagerly awaiting that letter.
Do it outside. Yeah. Well, we'll see if the royal family comes calling. We'll be prepared, certainly. I know Evan will be. But until then, the only king that we're getting to hold court with is the king of the zombies. So, do you like that? Do you like that little segue there?
Little segue.
Yeah, little segue. So yeah, King of the Zombies, 1941, from Monogram. It is right before the United States entered World War II. So what we're going to find is we're going to get some kind of references to Nazis and the things going on in Europe without explicitly saying Nazis and the things going on in Europe. But this was, yes, I did, Fresh. I did, and I'm a nerd like that, and I'll do it.
Air horn, Steve. You said segue.
Not to toot my own air horn.
Right. It's just a little skill I have. But yeah, so it was, that was kind of becoming a thing around the time, was to start involving more war elements into, just kind of your standard B movies. And it would become a thing in horror movies more later on throughout the 40s, but this is kind of an early example.
So, fun game for the audience. Whenever you see the Hitler allegory, yell at your screen.
Yep, there it is. Hitler. If you're in Germany, don't yell that because you might get in trouble. But I think most everywhere else, I mean, if you're in public, you might get some dirty looks. But if you're in the privacy of your own home, yes, you see any references to the Nazis and Hitler, then feel free to shout it out. Yeah, so we get all that. It's a horror comedy. So to just kind of preface this movie is a product of its time, and a lot of the humor in the film emanates.
When someone says that about something from back then,
that it's not
something's coming.
Something's coming. So it's a product of its time, and a lot of the humor is derived from an African-American character in the film played by an actor named Mantan Moreland, who we've actually seen in this show already in season 1, or earlier in season 3, during the first episode, Spider Baby. He made a brief appearance in the very beginning of the film.
And a quick exit.
But it's still a very kind of fun little part. But his role as a, he played a lot of basically domestic roles, servants, porters, things like that. That's what he is here. But he does kind of steal the show, and he gets to take center stage. He's cracking a lot of jokes, but a lot of the humor and a lot of the jokes it's certainly got some, it's based off racial insensitivity. So that's just something that is kind of a fact it's just blatant. It's not, we see it, we got to talk about it. It is what it is.
So we are diving headfirst into a comedy minefield. So
Get ready for a whole bunch of jokes that will not land very well today. But I still think that there is some of his. I haven't seen this, so that's the other thing to say. I haven't seen this before, so I really don't know the level of insensitivity that we're actually getting into. But I just know that his career ended up suffering later on because that was just, he kind of got flack for the roles that he played and the way that he played them, and kind of he played a lot of guys who got scared, and so when you get scared, there was a lot of stereotypical behavior, and that was got him parts in studio movies and in other films. We'll talk all about that. We'll get into his career, because that's the one thing that actually is interesting about this movie, as much as there is, it is just a fact of it. It's a product of its time. There are a lot of black actors associated with this film that are actually important to the history of black artists in cinema. So we're going to get into that, and that's fun. That's cool stuff that I didn't know that we're going to get to touch on here. So I'm very excited to dive into it. But yeah, gotta let people know right off the bat. I don't want to use the words trigger warning, because I hope it's not triggering, but it's just insensitive. It was just a lot of these movies, that's what they did.
So finger ready on the yikes button.
So the finger will be hot on the yikes button tonight, I'm sure. But we'll be ready for it. Anything before we get into it, boys?
Hitler, I hardly know her.
Yes, that is a good one. You can't.
Thank you, S. Singh.
That was good. Yes, we couldn't. I'm glad you caught that. Can't pass that up. All right. Well, I think Fresh, you have it queued up.
I do.
All right, then we're going to get into King of the Zombies right now. All right, and S-Sync, I don't know. Let us know how our audio is, if we're still, the gremlins are still at work. We'll get one of these. I just got to get a new mic. I think that's what it is. I'm just going to have to bite the bullet. Bite the bullet.
Bite the old bullet there, man.
Okay, just cash in all that sponsor money we're bringing in.
Right. Oh,
All the
yeah.
money that's pouring in from the British Crown.
Oh, sweet. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, take the Blue Apron check to Bank of America and see what they can do for you.
Maybe it's mine.
Interesting.
Hello? McCarthy calling. McCarthy calling. Hello?
Any luck, Mac?
Nah, I can't even scare off a news broadcast.
Where do you think we are?
Search me. We lost a few hours ago.
Search me.
That's how a plane works.
It ain't good.
The guy in the back is 2 inches behind the people in front of him.
You had those weather gadgets you all set up, we wouldn't have gotten into this mess. If that new Navy base gets a weather bureau now, it'll be a miracle.
It's a small plane, okay?
Mr. Bill, is this the spot where Admiral Wainwright's plane turned up missing last week?
Yeah.
Uh-oh, look out, Admiral. Here we come.
Try to contact him again, Mac. Hello? McCarthy calling. Plane C-108 calling. Why don't somebody answer? We're lost, do you hear? Lost.
We're lost up here. I'm lost
Not a
up
murmur.
here.
I'm flying here.
That's something else again.
If no one answers, just bitch at them and then they'll hear
Better go
you.
down. Find a spot for a landing. That's what I'll... Wait a minute. There's something coming in. That's a new lingo to me. I don't understand.
Nazis, Nazis.
Think we're near
Hitler,
radio
Nazis.
station? Well, the way it's coming in, we must be right over that transmitter. Well, that's a break.
That's like the other side.
Well, I'm going to take a look.
Airplane origins.
Hold on, boys.
That's right, I had lasagna.
There's a clearing ahead. I think I can make it.
Think. Did you say think?
Whoa. Okay. I feel like I can see the wire that it's floating on, but that's alright. That's still.
It's all right.
They went for it. That was good. Weird.
This is a Lost prequel.
Right. Yep. Exactly.
Did they crash in the jungles of Germany?
Yep. Deep in the thick jungles of Germany.
Can't say spoilers. It's old. Get out of here, Esther.
If that means what
Lost
I
is
think it
old.
They sure don't waste no time around here. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. They can't do this here to me. Let me out of here.
I don't like this.
Let me out of here. Let me out of
Again,
here. Now let me out of here.
it's the shtick, and it is.
Makes me uncomfortable.
It's different.
What do you
It's
mean, have me in a hole?
again,
Ain't we
it's
Of course we're not
it's
dead.
wild to think about it nowadays.
I thought I was a little off color to be a ghost.
Oh, there's no such thing as ghosts, Jeff.
Okay, that was kind of funny.
Well, what's that mean?
It was kind of funny.
But that's the kind of jokes we're gonna get.
No ghost. Come on.
I can't. My foot done took the root.
What are you trying to do? Scare
We
us
get
to
some
death?
nice moving camera work in this
Hey,
movie too, which is different for
you're
a
hurt.
Gene Yarborough
Just a
film.
crack on the
which-
noggin.
That was the guy who
Oh,
directed The Devil Bat, and
Certainly,
I
it looks like
disparaged
somebody's marble
him
orchard.
when we saw that
Great
episode. But even the book
Fine
referred to
spectacle,
him
right?
as reliable
Look
hack
around,
Gene
live
Yarborough.
What? What you trying to do? Wake up the dead?
So,
Could you remind me and maybe the audience what book you referenced with these
Poverty Row Horrors, which has a whole chapter on this book, or on this movie, and they refer to the director of this film, Gene Yarborough, as reliable hack.
Sounds like that has a very saucy author.
Yeah, they have no problem talking shit about the movies.
Look. It's a creepy looking place. Sure dark.
Oh, jeez, I feel like I've seen this house before.
Isn't that haunted house?
It is creepy looking. I gotta give it to them.
Let's find out.
The production values are surprisingly high.
I'm gonna stay right here until I change my mind. Oh, wait a minute. I done changed my mind.
And that's the thing, he really does kind of take center stage, especially
Yeah,
in
I
light
like
of
that.
like the boring standard white bread white guys. They've done really good on this set. I gotta give them props.
Ring the bell, Jeff.
Oh, Mr. Bill, you the one who wants to go in there. You ring the bell.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Standing up
Sound
for
like ice
himself.
cream man.
Yeah, I love what they're doing with the shadows.
Nobody here. Who's that?
Can't wait to see the shadow of a boom.
Yeah. Oh, it's coming. It's inevitable. Creepy.
Welcome to my humble home.
Welcome.
Thank you. We were just... I know. Your plane crashed in the jungle. Oh, yes. How did you know? Very little happens on this island that I do not
Plus, it was like 20 feet away from my house.
Mama.
Kind of hard not to hear
heard
that
it.
giant ruckus in my backyard.
Oh, excuse me, gentlemen. May I introduce myself? I'm Dr. Mikhail Sangre, late of Vienna.
So, if you didn't catch it, his name is Dr. Miklos Sangre, i.e. Dr. Blood.
Go on. Oh, that man is no doctor.
He's a phlebotomist. Leave him alone.
You must forgive us, please, if we seem unprepared. Visitors are rare in this house.
I'm afraid we're the ones to apologize, Doctor, for walking in on you like this.
Not at all. It's a pleasure, I can assure you.
Well, I'm Bill Summers. This is Mr. McCarthy?
I don't know you, Doc.
My valet, Jefferson.
Jefferson Jackson is my name. You see, I was named after my grandpappy. He was the president of the Knights of the Pink Garters.
What?
Ah, you have been hurt. Ah, it's nothing. Just a crack on the head. Nothing, you say. The slightest injury on this island often proves fatal. What do you mean? The climate, and yet? Yet what? They say that evil spirits lurk here, waiting to prey on the...
Malaria is really bad in this part of Germany.
Yeah.
Maybe. How about a spot of brandy? To warm me up? Fine. Mamba. Brandwein. My servant intrigues you. Is that one of the spirits that you was talking about? Mamba, no. It's true he reflects the mood of this house, but he's not as sinister as he looks. Gentlemen, the finest brandy in all Europe.
Yeah.
I brought it here
All
myself.
Europe.
He's drank every brandy in Europe just to make sure this is the finest.
Gotta be sure.
To your arrival. A most fortunate accident for me.
I'm afraid our arrival was no accident.
You mean to say you came here purposely?
No, not in the sense you mean. You see, we were on our way to the Bahamas when the storm blew us off our course.
The Bahamas.
We heard your broadcast, so here we are.
The Bahamas.
You gotta start saying it that way. People are gonna, you drive people nuts.
We'll see if we can get it to catch
Your
on.
ears must have played you
The
tricks.
Bahamas.
There is no radio within miles of here. However, boats do stop here fairly often. How often? Well, the next one is due in about 2 weeks' time. However, I hope you will be my guest in the meantime.
I'm afraid we'll have to, Doctor. Thank you.
Well, that's settled then. Let me show you to your rooms.
So the guy playing Dr. Blood is an actor named Henry Victor, who played the strongman in Freaks, which is a great early horror film, which if you haven't seen it, you gotta see it. It's fucking wild. Because he gets... Let's just say his character gets what he deserves. And I won't spoil it, but it's pretty gruesome.
Before you got here. He sure gets around fast, don't he? Mr. Summers, this is your room. Mr. McCarthy's. Your quarters adjoin. Excuse me, Mr. Doctor, but didn't you forget something? I think not. No? No. What about me? You will be taken care of. That's what I'm afraid of. In the servants' quarters. Mamba will show you the way. Mamba? That goblin? Would I have to go with him alone? He won't hurt you if he likes you. And if he don't? Oh, Mr. Bill, does I have to? Can I stay up here with you? No. You understand. I don't wish to be harsh, but it might set a bad example for the other servants.
Certainly. It'll be all right, Jeff.
Mamba.
I mean, that's just yikes because that's the way it was. Fuck that.
Yeah, his buddies are just like, yeah, it's fine, bro.
Yeah, or they can't argue with that.
You ain't by any chance a member of the Mystic Knight of the Pink Goddess, is you? No?
They're like, yeah, you have to go to the servants' quarters. That's just how it is back now.
So it's funny, this guy playing Mamba, an actor named Lee Whipper, was educated at Howard Law School, but then decided to be an actor, and was the first black member of Actors Equity, which is like a theater labor union, and he co-founded the Negro Actors Guild in 1920. So surely didn't see himself in, you know, King of the Zombies as a fucking servant, but you take whatever role you can get.
You mean it was the same? Nothing else but. It was the same blather we heard on the radio, and I wouldn't be surprised if it had the same voice.
That goblin?
What is he goblin?
I should have knocked.
Oh my god, no.
Here you are,
No.
Mr. McCarthy. Your head will be as good as new in no time.
Phew. If it was in me, I sure would be pale now.
Okay. Maybe not every 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's gonna be every 5 minutes.
Like, the first one was like, oh, okay, that was kind of funny. But it's gonna be a thing now.
It is.
Samantha. Well, I do declare. Hello there, bright eyes. Where did you come from?
Alabama.
Alabama. Ain't that nice? After gallivanting around with a hatchet face, you was a pleasant surprise.
Is you my new associate?
Is I? Well, if I ain't, that's what I'm thinking of. Hey, who's that, Methuselah?
Kahama.
I know a museum that would give a fortune just to have her under glass.
What's a museum?
That's where they keep dead things.
Oh, like here.
Hmm? What's cooking?
Like here.
Oh, okay. He's just oblivious. Got it.
Moving on.
Voodoo at this day and age? Why, don't you people know that prohibition has been repealed?
Taste.
Ooh.
I don't care if I do.
Yikes, yikes, yikes. Yeah, I mean, we could yikes
How's
the
it
whole
taste?
movie. And...
I don't know, but it ain't kosher. What's it for?
It's a magic potion to scare away the evil spirits.
Evil spirits? Good gracious of me. Well, it is evil spirits around here.
Why, sure. The place is crawling with them. And that ain't all.
What, there's more?
This place is lousy
You
with
ain't
evil
heard
spirits.
nothing. Just wait till you see the zombies.
Zombies? What's them?
Dead folks. What walks
Look
around?
it up on Google. It
They
only
do.
has 2 stars.
Yeah.
God damn it.
This is where they grows to bed. They's all over this place. And all you have to do is clap your hands.
But this movie has a particular distinction of being nominated for an Academy Award.
What the fuck?
Who is they? Who is they?
Zombies.
Wow!
What kept you so long?
Wow!
He's running around like Carlton off of Fresh Prince.
Mr. Bill!
That was a lot of his shtick,
matter,
is
Jack?
running around.
I've seen them.
You saw what?
They're all over the place. They're everywhere.
What's everywhere?
Hands, big black ones with frozen faces, with eyes that looks at you and they don't see nothing.
What's he talking about?
Oh, zombies. Mr. Bill, let's get out of here. Why, this place is a walking cemetery.
Wait a minute, Jeff. What's this all about? What's a zombie?
Well, a zombie, there's, Mr. Bill, there's...
The living dead.
Bum-bum-bum.
The living dead?
That's it. That's what it is. Dead folks was too lazy to lay down.
Your servant seems to have learned a lot in the short time he's been here.
Nothing I ain't willing to unlearn just as quick.
I'm afraid Jeff's been
I
saying
didn't
things.
see anything.
Where did you see these zombies?
Mr. Bill, I saw them down into the kitchen. They walked in there just like they owned the place.
Undoubtedly some of my servants.
No, sir, not them babies. Why, they is fugitives from the undertakers.
If it is true what he says, it might be amusing to see these creatures for ourselves. In the kitchen, you said?
Yes, sir. That's where I seen them.
Shall we investigate?
Sounds a little crazy. Sorry with me, I guess.
Sounds a little crazy. I'm in.
Well, I'm not doing anything.
Superstition plays a very important part in the life of these West Indian natives. Puss. This is our kitchen. Crude and rather antiquated, but adequate for our simple needs. Samantha.
Yes, master?
Have you seen any zombies here?
No, master.
Have you, Tahama?
Tahama cooks for the living, not the dead.
You see?
You better get yourself a pair of glasses, Jeff.
She didn't say. She didn't say there weren't any. She's just not cooking for them.
You were standing right beside me when them two perishables walked in.
The only perishable thing around here is you, big boy. You've been dreaming.
Dreaming.
Ooh, saucy.
Like my wildest nightmare. Mr. Bill, they was the real McCoy.
He tasted my brew, made him drunk.
Don't pay no attention to her. I wasn't drunk. You got to believe me.
You better take it easy, Jeff, and lay off that brew. Now that we have convinced ourselves that there are no
fucking assholes.
Let's go now to the library.
That's for me.
No, you stay here. Look out for more zombies.
This is your friend of many years, but you're gonna believe these random strangers.
Yep. Sure.
Woman, you is a prevaricator.
Don't you prevaricate me. You didn't see no zombies.
What is that?
You just think you did.
Think. I don't think that good. I seen them and you did too. You told me that all I had to do was to clap.
Stop him! Don't do that.
Don't clap.
Mister, that's something that ain't never no good for nobody to do no time. Much less going around blabbing off your big
There's a
mouth
lot of double
about-
negatives.
You mean that
That's
Mr.
part
Samuel
of the
don't like nobody to
racial
know he got zombies around
stereotyping.
there?
That's right.
How come? What'd he do, grow 'em?
No, but he sure cultivates them.
What for?
That's his own business. And if you're smart, you keep your big nose out of it.
Is you telling me?
Ooh. Very dressed. They're both very dressed up to be the only ones in this jungle mansion.
Hey, if you've got jungle mansion money, you might as well be wearing a tuxedo the entire time.
Mr. Summers, Mr. McCarthy.
Oh, this is Madam Blood.
How do you do, Madam Sarver? Howdy.
Madam Blood.
My wife isn't quite...
Oh, there's another mansion on the other side of the island for Madam
She
Crip.
suffers from a strange matter. Here is a peculiar case in
Big turf war going on.
Zombies,
That's great.
which your servant claims to have seen. Where supposedly they are dead.
Yeah, we can't see the color of her dress right now, but you better believe.
She lives, yet walks
You know it's red.
in the land of those beyond.
Fresh, I wasn't supposed to break already, was I?
No, it's 22:45.
Yeah.
You're good.
Okay.
Forgive us if we intruded.
Thank you.
I didn't know you preferred drinking
Did he
alone.
voodoo man her? It looks like he did.
Yeah, this does feel a lot like White Zombie, Voodoo Man.
He definitely voodoo man.
Mr. Summers?
This is
I'm
by
Mr.
the
McCarthy.
same studio 3 years
Miss Barbara
before.
Winslow, my niece.
By marriage. The doctor... I mean, my uncle has told me of your unfortunate accident. How long do you suppose it will take you to repair the plane and leave?
Barbara,
Repair
how
the
can you
plane.
talk?
Get out! Get out!
So when are you guys leaving?
Sorry, I didn't mean it that way.
You see, my niece doesn't
I'm
like...
not trying to
Virgin
warn
Islands.
you or anything.
She can only think of it in terms of departure.
Any place that don't set well with me, miss, I ups and leaves.
Unfortunately,
If you can't tell, that guy played Captain America in the 40s in the 1940 Republic serial, where Lionel Atwell played the villain,
You see,
who we saw in Fog Island a couple
had
weeks
to
ago.
flee without passports. We had no choice.
But we're different, huh?
Dick Purcell played Captain
You wouldn't be
America in
on this island if it hadn't been
1944.
for your crash. Isn't that so, Mr. Summers?
Well, that's about the size of it. You know, I'm beginning to think these islands are bad luck for planes.
Oh, I don't understand.
About a week ago, one of our Navy planes disappeared in the same region.
Oh, anyone of importance?
Yep. Admiral Wainwright.
one of our ranking admirals.
Mm-hmm. He was on his way to Panama, mission of some sort for the government.
No, yeah, that's the book described him as a slightly, not slightly chubby. What did it say? It said something that was very, like,
First thing in the morning,
very,
your admiral. I will,
about his
certainly
weight
let you know.
as Captain America.
Thank you,
Hold
Doctor.
on, we're gonna
Excuse me.
Let's see.
I see you take an interest in my collection.
Yeah, they are kind of curious.
They constitute my hobby, gathered from all over the world. Relics, symbols of black magic.
But his sagging belly made him slightly comical. That's what the book says.
You are Irish, are you not?
Sure. The book really doesn't mince words.
Well,
No,
that
it
should
really
be of special
doesn't.
interest to you. Why me? Because it comes from your country. The ceremonial mask worn by the ancient
dissolve coming up.
priests during the rites of transmigration.
Hell yeah, thank you, sir.
Transmigration.
Yes, it means the transfer of the soul of the dead to the body of the living.
Ain't that kind of tough on the living?
Perhaps so. But I know of many who would benefit by a new soul.
Lots of people don't believe in that junk
A
anymore,
new
Doc.
soul.
Well, I hear that in Ireland a good many do.
I don't know about that.
Dinner is served.
Very interesting, Mr. McCarthy, isn't it?
Very.
Quite.
The inconvenience of the material body always demanding to be fed. Come, my dear.
All right,
The
and
idea of me
that is going to take us to our first break. So, so far, as a horror comedy, I think, you know, I mean, certainly Mantan Moreland has just been firing on all cylinders, doing his thing for better or for worse. Again, it's, you know, for every decent joke, there's about 3 very stereotypical jokes. It is what it is. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty fun so far, I would say.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I'm liking it.
I mean, I also can appreciate the fact that there's more going into the production values here. It looks like there's a little more camera movement. The sets have been, you know, they've really dug into their wells to actually pull out some good sets instead of just fucking like getting whatever fucking cardboard walls are right there.
Yeah, did they hijack somebody else's set to make this?
I don't think so. I didn't read anything about this being shot anywhere else. But yeah, there's just something about the set and then the lighting. They're doing the cinematographer, and I didn't put his name down on my fact sheet, just because when I looked into him a little more, I couldn't find anything else that was really of note that he did. But he's definitely putting some dimension into this that I don't think you can attribute to Gene Yarborough. You know, reliable hack Gene Yarborough. So I think you got to give the
somebody attached to this project has some talent, but it sure as hell
it's not the director. But honestly, this probably is one of his better films. I mean, again, She-Wolf of London is the bane of Universal horror movies. It's just awful. And you know, we saw Devil Bat, and that was fine. You know, Lugosi's great. That's the only reason to watch it. The direction is flat. And then Hillbillies in a Haunted House, which is just awful.
Fun title.
Yeah, fun title. It's got some horror movie stars in there, but it's just...
Our Dr. Blood certainly seems to be a Lugosi type.
Yeah, so it's funny you say that because, of course, when they announced this movie, Monogram announced that it was going to be starring Bela Lugosi. And they even announced that there was going to be a musical number from the Zombies.
What?
Yeah, the Zombies were going to have their own musical number, and it was going to be called... what was it? There was a name. It was going to be called the Gravedigger's Song. That was what they were going to sing. And, you know, that didn't work out. They tried to get Peter Lorre for this role even. And they ended up settling for Henry Victor. And yeah, he does a good job. He's definitely he's playing menacing very well. And like you're saying, it's definitely a Lugosi type right? But and you certainly get that with the character of Dr. Blood and his zombie wife.
I wasn't expecting this. If he is supposed to be king of the zombies, I wasn't expecting him to be a vampire.
I don't think he's a vampire. He's just a creepy Nazi scientist, I think.
What's the difference?
What's the difference, really? Seriously, there's not much middle ground in between the two. But I think one thing you can say regardless so far is that it's definitely Mantan Moreland's movie. Like, I think he's definitely keeping the energy up. Like, I could care less about Mac and Bill. You know, y'all wouldn't even know that those were their names, would you? If I didn't, right? The two white guys. That's literally what I wanted to call them too. But they have names, but you can't remember them. But obviously, and I think I honestly can't remember the name of Mantan Moreland's character either. But his character is certainly making
He's keeping things moving.
He's making the biggest impression, and so. You know, again, this is kind of interesting that Monogram's letting him shine here in one of their more mainstream horror comedies because they used him a lot. They hired him a lot, and he was one of the rare black actors at the time who got the opportunity he was doing these indie movies with Poverty Row Studios. He was working at the studios, again, playing the same kind of thankless servant roles, but every once in a while he would get something where he could exercise his comedic chops. But he started out on stage in vaudeville and did a lot of comedy, had a lot of comedy teams, different like partners that he worked with, and then broke into films. And you know, the other thing that he got to do were what exhibitors at the time called race films, which were basically films that were marketed for a black audience in black neighborhoods and black theaters. And Mantan Moreland basically got to star in a fair number of movies from these outfits, and there's actually a number that are horror comedies and are in the public domain that we will get to watch eventually. And I couldn't find any trailers for any of these movies, so I decided to just pull a few minutes from this movie called, I believe it's Lucky Ghost. I think that's the title of it. And I don't really know the plot, but this is kind of towards the end, and it's just a bunch of creepy, ridiculous, still some of the same racially insensitive humor, but this was actually made for a black audience exclusively. So it's kind of interesting to see.
This is like a precursor, like the blaxploitation 70s thing.
Yeah, in a way, it's just that's the thing is that there were always different people who were trying to make films for black audiences, for Jewish audiences. There are a lot of these kind of films that flew under the radar that were made for audiences that weren't mainstream, and we don't hear about those as often. So in a way, yeah, like throughout the 30s and really in the 40s, you did kind of have, like Mantan Moreland starred in a whole bunch of movies. Like the clip that we're about to see, that movie is a sequel to another movie that Mantan Moreland starred in. That was like, and he did multiple. That's the thing. Like, yeah, it was basically like this whole other circuit of movies. The difference though was that whereas blaxploitation crossed over into it ended up casting a wider net. These movies never really broke out of their niche theaters. You know, they kind of stayed in the neighborhoods where they were first shown, unfortunately. Because what we're going to see in this clip is some actually interesting, enterprising stuff. More interesting than some of the things we've seen in movies that we've watched on this program. So I think we'll probably watch this movie at some point. I mean, we definitely have some, at least a couple of these films that were made for black audiences on our schedule, but in doing some of this Mantan Moreland research, I found more. So that I'm pretty sure public domain. So hopefully we'll get to show them on the show, because this is, I think you guys will, there's some funny stuff here. I liked it. So we're going to see this clip from Lucky Goes. And then when we come back, we're going to get into the exciting middle of King of the Zombies. So stick around. We will be right back.
I'm gonna get out of here. Me too. Look at my finger. Look at that. One thing could do that. What's that? Ghosters. Don't say that, Jeff. What is the matter with you? Jeff, I just can't stand it no longer. Sit down, then. Look at that, look at that, Jeff. Look. Look. Hey, Jeff. Look here, Jeff. I ain't... What? Get up there. What's the matter with you, boy? Get up there. Oh, my goodness. Jeff. Turn loose now. Hey, wait a minute. Hey, Jeff. Hey. What's the matter with you? Is you having fits? He grabbed me and he wouldn't turn me loose. Did you see him? No. Did you? No. Oh, dog. Jeff? Is that you scratching my head? Jeff, is that you scratching? Now, come on, Jeff. Now, tell me the truth. Now, is that you scratching my head? Oh, Jeff, please say yes. That's you scratching my head. Jeff? Jeff! Now, come on. Now, what are you looking at?
What's your hurry, Buzz?
Come here. Me? Come here, both of you.
And we are back. So that was a little bit of Lucky Ghost with Mantan Moreland. And yeah, I mean, again, I was telling them the director was a white director, so I'm sure he was getting some pretty racist direction there as well. He's, acting, pretty ridiculous. But again, that movie was made for a African-American audience. So it is it is funny to kind of just look at it in the context of just what was being churned out at the time. Like, did black audiences think that was funny? Did they at the time think it was racist? Certainly by the 50s, they thought it was racist. Yeah. I mean, I think, thankfully, Lightning McQueen didn't use the N-word, because that would just take things into a way out of left field. But no, I mean, but Mantan Moreland found himself kind of blacklisted because of the shtick that he was associated with, and again, I mean, he was a working actor. He was trying to work, trying to make money. So you can't necessarily fault him. But unfortunately, throughout the 50s and the 60s, he had trouble getting work, and it was one of those things that it was unfortunate, because he's very talented, and I didn't find this out until today. Interesting fact: he was actually considered to be the third stooge in the Three Stooges in the late 50s after the death of Shemp.
Really?
Yeah, Shemp died, and Shemp.
Which one is Shemp?
So Shemp he's kind of got longer hair, and he's very. I like Shemp, but Shemp is okay. Like, Curly is the one that everybody knows Mo, Larry, Curly. If it's not Mo, Larry, Curly, then it's Mo, Larry, Shemp for the most part. There's also Joe and Curly Joe Dorita, but that's a whole other story.
How many stooges are there?
That's the thing. But that was the thing. So it was Curly, and then it was Shemp, and then it was Curly. No, it was Shemp, and then it was Curly, and then it was Shemp again, and then Shemp got sick and died. But Shemp apparently suggested Mantan Moreland to take over his spot, because Shemp actually did a lot of acting, kind of in the way that Mantan Moreland did, it doing supporting roles, and he also would get like a starring role at Monogram or at one of the Poverty Row studios every now and again in some horror comedy. There's like a Shemp horror comedy that I think is public domain that we'll get to watch that is awful, but it's Shemp, so it's fun. He's a stooge. But anyway, Mantan didn't get the role because Columbia, the studio that made the Three Stooges shorts, said, "Nah, it needs to be somebody we have under contract. We're not gonna do that." So it kind of sucks, because that would have certainly been interesting. Yeah, that was the late 1950s. I am so confused. Talking about Mantan Moreland and the Three Stooges. What could have been, unfortunately. But yeah, so we're going to get to see more of Mantan Moreland doing his thing as we get into the exciting middle of King of the Zombies. Let's see.
What's on that link?
I haven't clicked it.
It's people pole dancing in very large costumes, so you can't. It's just that, yeah.
Okay, interesting.
That's why I'm confused.
Yeah, S-Sync will give us a little. She'll
subtlety.
Oh yeah, SpongeBob, of course. How could we forget? Yeah, not much subtlety in what we're watching tonight, certainly. yeah, so we're about to get into the exciting middle of King of the Zombies. Watch Mantan Moreland keep doing his thing. Let's see. Evan's mixing up another cocktail over here. You can hear all the
ice sound
noise over there. Getting after
You're
it.
clinking.
Clank, 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 clank.
You're clinking.
Classic Evan. All right. Well, Fresh, if you are ready to go.
Is the clink echoing?
I am ready.
Yeah, we're probably echoing out the wazoo right now. I'm sure S-Sync is just being nice and just eventually everybody gets tired of saying, yeah, hey, there's an echo, but there's always an echo. The gremlins are just, I don't know. Gotta find some way to get them out one of these days. Until then, we're gonna get into the exciting middle of King of the Zombies right now.
Why, that ain't no business.
No, you're
for a man
doing
who
great,
used to
S-Sync.
resorting with big shots.
Who you trying to fool? Well, the only big shot around these here parts is Dr. Sangler. And I sure know you ain't no pal of his.
I don't intend to be. Why, that Dr. Sangre is a little shot compared with Mr. Bill.
Who say?
Mr. Bill.
And you know why?
Mr. Bill, isn't that the character, the clay guy on
It's
SNL
a
that gets
secret.
like
But I'll
smashed
tell
and
you if
beat
you
up?
promise not to tell a living
That's
soul.
old. You guys, I don't know.
Leastwise, not no living
This is
Leastwise.
20. Yes,
Why, woman,
there you
if
go.
keep company with a zombie,
30-year-old SNL references.
well, he's on
you
a
know,
special
we're-
business for the government.
Yeah.
Talking about old things is kind of
Yeah,
our
It
thing.
is. It's kind of our thing, isn't it?
About that.
SNL's not public domain yet, guys. You can't say it.
We can't talk about
Hey,
that.
what's up? What's up?
It's almost 12 o'clock. The witching hour.
Witching hour? What do that mean?
It means you better be in bed or the Haints will get you.
Hanks?
Witching hour.
Hanks?
It's their feeding time.
Witching.
And they like stock meat.
Dog meat. You don't have to play no second chord for me to find out who that means. Where's that bed?
You stay here.
Oh, mister, I got a date with a dream.
Stay here.
Oh, couldn't we flip a coin or something to see if I stay or else?
Pay no attention to anything you see or hear.
Pleasant dreams. Nighty-night, sugar pie.
So the old woman there, Tahama, she's an actress named Madame Solte-Wan. She's the first black actress signed to a film contract. Not much of a contract. It was to W.D. Griffith.
I couldn't get out of here if I wanted to.
Yeah, it was for Birth of a Nation, which goes without saying. But you got to start somewhere. She was also in King Kong. She got typecast a lot, playing mammy roles, as they're referred to, or as natives, like in King Kong. That's kind of the stereotype.
What's her name?
So her stage name is Madame Solte-Wan.
Yeah,
Her real name is Nellie Crawford from Louisville, Kentucky. She used that stage name to try to get like more kind of exotic and varied roles, but no, Nellie Crawford.
Oh God.
My goodness, fires.
It's a cool effect.
Yeah, I wonder how they did that.
Yeah, I wonder, are those fake candles maybe pulling the wick down or something?
There's a lot of candle gags in these 40s horror comedies, and I don't know how they do them. Huh?
It's a trick candle.
Yep.
Mr. Bill.
They got it from the magic shop.
Now what?
The zombies, they've been trying to get me.
Again? Is your servant always like that, Mr. Summers?
This ain't no laughing matter, Dr. Sanders. You fooled me once before, but you can't do it this time because I seen them with my own eyes.
He seems to be troubled with hallucinations.
No, sir. Zombies, that's what I'm troubled with. You know what, Mr. Bill? Why, they tried to have me for dinner.
Nonsense. Zombies don't eat meat.
That ain't the way I heard it.
Oh, the crack up must have given him a concussion.
See,
We'll be
that's
right in the morning, Jeff.
that's
We'll
one
get
thing
a good
this
night's
movie
rest.
kind of
You're right about me needing
plays
rest,
with
but I can't
early.
get it sleeping down
This
there
idea
in
of
that
zombies eating human
Stay up here
flesh.
with us.
Mr. Bill, them is the joyfulest words that I ever heard.
Oh, we have so much room in this house, there's no need for him to sleep here. I'll give him an opiate.
You ain't giving me nothing. But this is so
You see, I'll give him an opiate.
Yeah, I'll just shrug
Blame
him.
my bet. Oh, forgive me. I forgot. After all, he is your
I'll
servant.
give him an opiate. He'll be fine.
My doc. Good gracious of me.
Will it help him sleep?
This joint gives me the willies. I second the motion.
Well, I'm not crazy about it either, but there's nothing we can do about it. That's what you think. Nobody leaves this island, huh? Well, I'm getting off it if I have to swim.
And me right behind you. You know that Dr. Sanders has got the hex on us.
Now you're both jumping at your own shadows.
Shadows? I don't throw them kind of shadows that I saw down in that kitchen. Why, Mr. Bill, this place is zombified, but good.
Ah, forget it, Jeff. There may be something to that zombie gag, Bill. I've heard of them. Ah, go on. When a man's dead, he's dead.
But supposing he's dead and don't
So
know
this guy playing
Forget
Bill,
it, will you, Jeff? I'm going to bed.
Where am I gonna
a guy
sleep?
named John Archer, who's also in Bowery at Midnight, another Monogram movie with Bela Lugosi. So we'll probably see him at some point. Father of an actress named Ann Archer, who's kind of best known to us for
That's a
playing
generator,
Dennis
sure
and
as a
Dee's
shamrock
mom
lamp.
in Always
Maybe
Sunny
for
in
the electric
Philadelphia.
light.
So
You
that's
seen
her
electric lights
father.
around here?
Maybe they ain't screwed him in yet.
Yep,
There's only one
interesting
reason
little
for a generator to be on this
small
island.
world. So kind of like
I don't get it.
Dennis and
Why would
Dee's
you lie about the
Pop
radio
Pop.
when... That's one of the things that got me mixed up.
But if he was a
Let me tell you
Nazi
this.
instead of
You live through the
you
night
know.
and that radio on the plane is okay. I'm going to camp on it tomorrow like scare up a gunboat.
Oh, they're gonna let him just normal sleep. He can't go.
Wow, surprisingly restrained choice from director Gene Yarborough. Wow, good point. But I mean, this whole idea of a zombie wife and a crazy doctor is kind of like I Walked with a Zombie kind of made that famous. Although I don't even know if that was out yet. I'm honestly not sure. Actually, I don't think it was, so that's kind of interesting. Because that's a very... I Walked with Zombies is a very influential zombie film. It's more romantic. And...
Mr. Bill, Mr. Mack. What's the matter? What happened? Everything happened. The first it was zombies, and then it was ants, and now it's a lady ghost. She come right through that wall.
Now, look, Jeff, the first couple of times it was funny, but now you're going too far.
Oh, no, I ain't, Mr. Bill. She walked
The
right through
book
that
also
wall.
pointed out, like...
Going back to bed.
You know.
Imagination? Why, Mr. Bill, my imagination ain't that strong.
He's sleeping fully clothed.
Imagination couldn't drop this, could it? Look at that.
What is it? It's an earring. Where did you say she went?
She walked right through that wall, just like it wasn't there. Right here, Mr. Bill. I show it to you, too. She walked right through this wall here, and don't ask me how she done it.
Secret panel classic.
I solid as a rock.
No?
It gets me. Any idea who she was?
I didn't ask the lady her name. I was doing pretty good just looking.
What do you say, Bill? Still think he's crazy? Well, I'll tell you better in the morning. Now, next time you see anything like that, hang on to it.
If I do, it's got to catch up with me first.
Creepy.
Nothing doing. Looks like even the doorknobs are haunted around this joint. Well, I'm going to find out what this is all about right now.
Oh, Mr. Bill, with all these hands around here, does we have to go looking for them?
You can stay here, Jeff.
No, sir. Wherever thou goes, I'll go. I hope it ain't too far.
Well, keep your eyes open. Let's have a look downstairs.
So really make sure you're shaking the candle back and forth so everybody knows you're scared. I loved in these old movies the way that they make it seem like a candle can light up so much. I always like, as a kid, it's like, it doesn't work like this. Like when I light a real candle, yeah, they're like, what? There's no way they'd be able to find their way through these secret passages with just a candle. That's where a candelabra would come in handy.
Yeah, one candle's not gonna cut it,
No.
but 5?
5 might do it.
You better split up.
You don't mean 3 ways. Mr. Bill, I think 2 is better.
Look, Jeff, where did you say you sold those things?
Oh, Mr. Bill, you ain't going down in that zombie nest.
Where is it?
Oh, back in the kitchen.
That's for me. All right, I'll look around up here.
Okay.
Come on, Jeff.
Who, me? No, sir. Oh, Mr. Mac, I ain't got no business down there.
Pipe down. You gotta show me the way.
Does I have to? Can I draw you a map or something?
Go ahead, Jeff. You're wasting your time.
Oh, my goodness. Right out of the skillet into the frying pan. I couldn't win tonight if I had crooked back. Never had it.
Imagine being scared to death and still making funny quips every few minutes.
Yeah, this dude is just always on.
That's the Just gotta go out with a laugh. Gotta leave him laughing. Any good vaudevillian knows that.
It's what the new Halloween was missing. Just a bunch of one-liners.
Did you watch it?
I didn't. Did you?
Yes, I did watch it. Yes.
You don't sound very impressed.
Honestly,
yeah,
honestly,
I watched it.
I honestly like it, even though it's bad. Like I like it more. I like it more the further away I get from it for some reason, which I didn't expect. I kind of stumbled on the fact. I don't know. It's just fucking. It's ridiculous. It's just so dumb.
Oh, it's you. Do you always sneak up on people like that?
Not always. Tonight it's
This is why he wanted to go by himself.
I thought I'd return your call. You mind?
I couldn't sleep when there was such
Rather
a
late for a
beautiful
search,
girl
huh?
in the house. That's.
Oh, I noticed.
Just really shocked they
You
didn't
want to
go
know
with
anything,
that.
you really go after it, don't you?
I wanted to return your call by showing up in person. That's not weird.
Not at all. This plowing act of yours, what's the idea?
So this woman is
She is hypnotized,
her
isn't
name
she?
is Joan Woodbury,
I think so.
and
You don't
she
think I did it to him?
popped up in Bride of Frankenstein for a little
I'm in
bit
no
as
position to
a
accuse anybody of anything.
like
Look, Mr. Summers,
miniature
I've got to get my
queen,
aunt off this island.
which doesn't
She's
make a
been
lot of
this way ever since
sense.
she came
I don't know
here.
how to describe it
I'm
honestly
afraid
now
if
that
we
I
don't
think
do
about it.
something soon,
A mad
something
scientist
bad
makes a
will
bunch of
happen.
little people that he keeps in jars,
Well,
and there's
I've
like
got
a
to trust
king
somebody
and a
around here,
queen
that's
and an
But in order to
archbishop.
help you've got to help us.
It's wild.
Oh, he's playing chess.
That's, well, he's got like a mermaid and a devil and there was a baby that he had too, but they cut
I
that.
think weird chess.
It is.
Yes.
I don't know where it is, but there must be one because he's always getting messages from somewhere.
So,
You think you could find it?
I'll try.
Swell.
We better get back to our rooms.
Let me guess, Garrett.
Not now.
She was a small queen, but she could move in any direction she wanted to.
well, no. Well,
They didn't. They sprouted. Just like mushrooms.
let's see. No, she stayed put, but the king certainly met his match. Trying to
He
get
really
to
got
the
checkmated.
He really did, actually. Because he was trying to get at the queen.
She really put him in check.
She really did. If you've seen the movie, you know she did. So you guys, and this was the trivia question. You know what Academy Award this was nominated for? So I think the choices were Best Score, Best Art Direction, Best Sound Recording, and Best Original Song.
Best score?
Wait, what were the choices again?
Best Score, Best Art Direction, Best Original Song, and Best Sound Recording.
You all right, Mac?
Yeah,
Looks like I pulled a nut running.
That's not so bad. It's just a bump.
That's different.
Yeah, 2 cracks on the bean in one night. How am I doing?
I heard someone cry out. It was me, and I wasn't dreaming.
Yes, we thought we heard something, Doctor. We came down here to investigate.
So?
Yeah, I got tangled up with one of your ape men and got the worst of the
Best
argument.
insensitive
Too bad. I
one-liner.
should have warned you.
Mm.
Some of my servants.
That would have been a good category in
Sure it wasn't a
1941.
Yeah, there would have been a lot of competition.
Yeah.
It really would have been.
I'll say song.
You're a sensible
Best
man,
song.
Mr. Summers.
So it
Now,
was
let's go back to
best
that, fellas.
score.
I'm sorry.
And
This won't happen again.
it went up against 19 other movies.
Did they pick this one?
Well, no, it was nominated. It didn't win.
Oh.
But there were 19 other films it went up against.
It made a good.
Stump don't look half bad.
Good
They like
effort.
Some of the best
Yeah,
horror
almost
movie
makes last night seem
composers
like
of
it
all
didn't
time
happen.
it went up
Don't kid
against.
yourself.
Bernard
That ain't
Herrmann,
I'm beginning to believe this
who
thing
did the
dropped on
Psycho
purpose.
theme,
Good morning.
what's his
Howdy.
name? Something
I think we
Steiner.
broke this
Max
last
Steiner, who did the
Thank you,
King
Lord. I
Kong
belong to
theme.
my
Franz Waxman, who did the
I'm so
Bride of
glad I'm going to
Frankenstein
find you
theme.
alone.
Like,
Something I've got to
these
say.
guys did other movies that
It's
year.
about last night,
And Bernard
isn't it?
Herrmann won for some, well, All That Money Can Buy, which I don't know.
Good morning.
But 19 movies is
Having
a
an
lot to
interesting
compete
conversation, my
against.
dear.
In 1946, they
about
started
Rhode
limiting
Island.
it to like 5 or 6.
How thoughtful of her.
That's a wide.
Did you sleep well last night? Well as we could with the storm and all. Good. I took the liberty of having some breakfast sent to your room. I hope you didn't mind. Not at all. It was an unexpected treat.
Yeah.
You seem to admire my wife's earrings. Oh, I was just, my wedding
You seem
present
to
was a
admire my wife's
very
German
unique. I do.
hairstyle.
I dare say there's not another pair like them in the
These
world.
two seem like they're in the Rat Pack.
They were among the few possessions which we were allowed to take out of the old.
It is. It's early Dean Martin and Jerry
Well, while you are
Lewis.
here, I want you to feel perfectly at ease and do as you like. What are your plans for today?
I'm going down and take a look at the plane. Yes, we're anxious to see what damage was done by the crash last night.
I see.
Would you care to join us, Miss Winslow?
Oh, I would love to.
No. That would be quite impossible. My niece assists me as my secretary. We have a lot of work to do, my dear.
Yeah, come with us. Frank will be there.
Certainly. Shall we go, Mac?
Did I say you're gonna have
Enjoy
the day
yourself.
off?
But don't forget luncheon at noon.
Thanks, Doctor. Bill, let's have a look at that earring.
Well, he looked
And
around.
the same, all
like,
right. The only pair like him in the world, huh? I don't get it. Neither do I. Barbara didn't drop it. Madame Sangre couldn't have, apparently. Who did? This is the most cockeyed racket I ever bumped into. Well, I'm forgetting out of it.
Obvious ADR.
Let's get the radio.
Nobody's mouth was moving.
Look there.
Or like moving barely.
What about it?
He was just
Ain't that a
thinking
fresh
that.
grave?
This is the craziest racket I ever seen.
Yeah,
That was a thought.
that's been dug since
That
the
was a
storm
narrated
last night.
thought.
Now, you getting those zombies on your mind, too? You and
is a
Jeff
good
make a
audience.
great pair. You still don't get it. Take a look at that headstone. That guy was buried over a week ago, and somebody must have dug him up.
The reels
Come
get ready
on.
to change.
Boy, will I be glad to get away from this joint.
The reel changes. Did you see the black dot in the...
Oh, I wasn't paying attention.
That was a fake change.
Well, it could have
That
been worse.
circle, you'll see 2 black
Mac, come
circles, or 2 white
What's
circles. That means the reel's about to change. The first one is to signal
Take that.
projectionists so
Yeah,
that they
somebody's
make the
dismantled it.
change, and they
Dismantled
have it ready.
I'll say they have.
By the
What's
second
next on this
one.
Devil's Island? Mac, we're in a spot. I don't know
Yeah,
why,
we
but somebody's trying to hold us here. Trying to hold us, is it? That Dr. Sangre and his droids and his zombies? He better not try to pull any of his black magic on me. Calm down, Mac. Raving isn't going to get us anywhere. I'm going to find that, Doc. Are you crazy?
Don't
anything
be a
now to make him
hothead,
suspicious,
hothead.
No telling what he might do. Take it easy until we find out what he's up to. Well, maybe you're right. But there's one thing I can do, and I'm going to do it right now. I said take it easy. All I'm going to do is try and find that generator we heard humming last night. Hey, that's an idea. The old man's got a radio hidden away someplace. We could sure use it. Let's go. You better let me handle this. Like you said, we don't want to make anybody suspicious.
Let me handle it.
Snooping around, it might
See?
look so hot. Okay, I'll go back to the
All right,
house and try to
we
get
want to
Barbara
talk.
away from Doc long enough to find out what she was trying to tell us. Think you can handle it alone? A cinch. It's right up my alley. My old man used to be a cop.
My old man.
Okay, what does that have to do with you? My dad could beat up your dad.
You gotta love this 1940s primitive zombie. They're figuring it out. They're just figuring out how zombies work. I guess that's what we haven't really figured out yet. You think about white zombies, some of these other ones. Voodoo is the kind of obvious in to the world, but I don't think we've heard about quite what's going on here. But I think this is it.
The hammer.
Yes, master.
How much longer?
Soon, master, soon. Voodoo magic works slow, but it is sure.
Voodoo, there it is.
Admiral
Voodoo
has
magic.
Your magic is no good. It puts him to sleep.
I am Mamalai, high voodoo priestess. I sent him in trance, so he talk.
Too slow. He has valuable information, which we must have at once. The 3 men upstairs may be in the Secret Service.
See, this
You
is the
must make him
cinematographer
talk,
who's trying to make this interesting staging, even though this was all done in one wide shot. It was like a confrontation, and they just covered it in one take in a wide. But he tried to do it a little
Dr.
more.
Sangre roofed X here, no
Yeah, the
fly.
zombies are gonna blink. It's
Dr. Sangre
inevitable,
roofed
alright?
X
Let's
here,
just
no
resign ourselves
fly.
to it. Did we haven't come up on the break, have we?
Have another piece of
No,
pie
we're
in
about
there?
to.
Already had 2.
The
You
next
already
dissolve.
had 6, but does you want another one?
Well, if you insist.
Boy, you're the most pious man I ever did see.
Did you say
Ain't
you
it
said
true?
6
I bet
pieces
you
of
know them
pie?
gals in Harlem never baked you no pie.
So
You're
wait,
the
did you
most
see that
pious.
size of that bite he took into that?
Smart.
I bet he ate that many
And it
pieces.
wasn't
He's
no
eating
common
pie
old
with his
bad man
hands.
like you neither.
Yes. Look at that.
That's right.
That's the way that they eat pie.
Yeah, she called him pious. Yes, she did, I
On
think.
the Pullman train.
Cheesy
What was the
Joe.
Great.
It was
You're the most pious man I ever did see.
A revolving train.
That wasn't
You also
racist.
have some festivals around this country.
You gotta give
If
him
you ate
props.
6 of those pieces, that's like 2
I see
pies.
them every now and then.
Because that's like a third of a pie.
It is. Almost a fourth.
That zombie you met last
I
night.
guess,
Oh, no,
I guess Whitey 1 and 2 don't feed this guy.
Watch you, Mr.
He
Bill.
must be
You sure give me a
starving.
turn.
Have you seen Mac? He's been
They're
missing.
like, we're gonna
since
stop
this
for
morning.
food. You stay here in
I
the
ain't
car.
seen it. You don't think nothing happened to him?
We don't want any
I
of
don't know what
the
to
kitchen
think.
staff
Don't
getting any
mind me,
ideas.
Mr. Bill. I'm on your side.
Dear God.
You think we better go look for him?
All right. Before we go, run upstairs and get my gun in the bag, will you?
Well, you gonna shoot somebody?
Don't ask any questions. Meet me in the library.
Yes, sir.
All right, and that is going to take us to our second break.
I'll
So,
get that next piece of pie to go.
yeah, seriously, take it to go, Mantan. My goodness, that's a lot of pie. My man is, yes, pious. That is one of the cheesiest, but that sounds like a
That's a
joke
good
they
joke.
could make today, doesn't it?
I like it.
It
I like it.
stands up. It holds up to the test of time. You have to appreciate that. That's awesome. So some unexpected surprises here in King of the Zombies. I mean, fun, right? I think we can use that word, like, so far, right?
We're having fun.
We're having fun. It's the movie is not taking itself too seriously, but it's trying to kind of build the story and build logic. It's not just so flat that we're bored out of our minds as some of these poverty run movies tend to
There's
go.
not a ton going on. It's
No.
they're
Not
stuck on this
really.
island, and the chances of them being able to leave seem to be
Right.
slimming.
Very. But
There's plenty of pie.
There's plenty of pie.
plenty
so
of
they got that going for
pie,
them.
plenty charismatic individuals, charismatic characters, and yeah, I mean, I think they're definitely moving toward getting the fuck out of here. Obviously, it's taken them long enough to finally listen to Mantan and realize there's some fucking shit going down. He's tried to warn them. He's tried to tell them. What are you gonna do? They just had to see it for themselves and learn their lesson.
He's told them now they're on board, and now he kind of wants to stay because there's pie.
That's actually a good point. Yep, he didn't know there was going to be pie involved, but as soon as he found out,
He's like, you know what? Actually, I didn't see any zombies.
all you needed to say, and I would keep my mouth shut. I'm in. I bought in. Bring me more pie, and we'll see if Mantan gets more pie.
He's a pious man.
That was so dumb. That was so corny, so cheesy. But you got to give him props for that. That was that was a good one. Yeah, I mean, I think with as much as you can criticize about this movie, there's a lot to have fun with. So, and again, that was the whole point. I mean, this is technically an early horror comedy, but that was kind of the trend in the 40s. You know, the 30s is when really the horror movie was defined and came into its own. But by the 40s, nobody had a problem trying to parody the genre and tropes and formulas. And so that's kind of what we're dealing with here. The big thing that set it off, though, really was a 1940 movie called The Ghost Breakers with Bob Hope, which, if you don't know Bob Hope, really big-time famous comedian of his day. Now, like if you go to they maybe don't have it anymore, but when I visited, I think it was the Smithsonian. One of the museums in D.C. had a whole Bob Hope exhibit. It was wild. But he was really an influential comedian, but he starred in some movies in the early 40s that kind of flirted with horror themes, but it's, you know, it's Bob Hope, so it's straight up comedy. And that, you know, between him and Abbott and Costello, it kind of set a trend for the 40s as far as horror not being taken seriously, and that eventually led to Abbott and Costello Meets Frankenstein. But, you know, the whole Universal series of monster movies kind of became B movies at this time in the early 40s. So that was what audiences liked. They weren't wanting to take it too seriously. So a horror comedy like this is, you know.
So the voodoo zombie movies that we've seen so far, I can't remember, were those 30s movies or?
So White Zombie was 1932, and that is considered the first zombie movie. And Revolt of the Zombies is 1936, which we watched that in season 2. Not a very good movie. More boring. Like, not like we're enjoying this much more than we enjoyed that, right? More zombie action, I think, as well.
Didn't get any good zingers from that one.
No, it's a lot of like boring romance shit. It was I'm glad we got it out of the way. I'm glad we sat through it. Yeah, so really just those two. And so,
but by this point, enough time had passed that
it started
to get a little less serious.
Yeah, it really didn't get very far before people started having fun with it. So then you have, the Ghost Breakers, apparently zombies are a part of that plot. So, I mean, again, like Ghost Breakers inspired this. So Ghost Breakers really set a tone as far as, all right, well, we won't take zombies seriously. But again, I Walked with a Zombie, I think was 42 or 43. I think it was after this movie. If it was the same year, then, you know, I would be shocked. But I think it was after. And so that played with the zombie mythos seriously. But for the most part, in the 40s, they were kind of playing it for comedy. But when we come back from the break, we'll kind of talk about kind of some different things. Ooh, gelato, fresh.
Yes.
Well, you're gonna enjoy your gelato
The box wine, got the gelato.
Yeah, he's really getting fancy tonight. I'm jealous of Fresh. You have to get him in here in the studio with his gelato. But your gelato will go perfectly with this trailer for the Ghost Breakers, and then we're also going to see a trailer for another similar kind of movie in this horror comedy vein called Whistling in the Dark, starring Red Skelton. And it's not as much a horror, it's more mystery, but it's still I think it's very much inspired by the Ghost Breakers and kind of keeping in line with that same horror comedy sensibilities that really was more common in the 40s than you would think. So enjoy your gelato fresh while we see these two trailers. And then when we come back, we're going to get into the exciting conclusion of King of the Zombies. So stick around.
Who you gonna call?
Ghost Breakers.
Ghost Breakers Incorporated. You make 'em, we shake 'em. Bob Hope speaking. Yes, Paulette Goddard's a partner in this firm. What? You want me to send her around? Listen, if I could tell Paulette what to do, I wouldn't send her to your house. Sucker. You know, I never knew there were so many ghosts roaming around loose until Paulette and I got into the Ghost Breakers. Believe me, the Cat and the Canary was a pink tea compared to this picture. It all starts on one terrible night. Basil Rathbone must be giving a party. That's the night that Paulette inherits a ghostly ancient castle off the coast of Cuba. The place is filled with mummies and spooks that walk at midnight. There are murders and death warnings planned to frighten Paulette and me, but we ain't frightened. I'll match you to see who faints first.
That sounds like Miss Carter's voice.
Ah, that's what they're trying to make us believe.
Where are you?
One reason Paulette and I are such good ghost breakers is that we don't believe in ghosts. Or do I?
Say, this is a nifty way to travel. Have you boys had a lot of experience?
We have. With coffins.
Oh, good. What?
I am the fox. Open that door.
You'll never take me alive.
Very well, then I'll shoot the lock in. You've just heard another thrilling drama by the master brain of murder, the Fox, who creates and solves each of these perfect crimes himself.
There's a certain gentleman who's in our way, Mr. Benton. We wish to, shall we say, eliminate him. We are relying on the Fox to devise the perfect method.
You mean you want me to kill somebody on the level?
No, you just do the thinking. We'll do the work.
I'll have a bed brought in.
A bed? What for? You expect me to dream up this murder? Aren't you wrestling somewhere tonight?
Open that thing and tell him to let us in.
I don't think that's such a good idea.
Why not?
He's liable to do it.
Go ahead, darling. We're not afraid, are we?
Oh, now, don't get me wrong. It's not that I'm afraid, because I am.
Okay, so those were the trailers for some ridiculous horror comedies from the early 40s. And so Fresh brought up a good point, and Evan brought this up earlier, and I don't know if we actually talked about it during the show. We were talking about it during the first break. But he mentioned how Mantan Moreland kind of reminds him of Carlton, and so we had talked about that. And I didn't know if we brought it up on the show. But then just now, Fresh brought up how Mantan Moreland kind of reminds him of Fred Sanford. And that's interesting because, during the time that Mantan was kind of blacklisted in the 50s and the 60s, he started partnering up with young comedians as part of a comedy team.
He got a job in a junkyard.
One of the people, wow, wouldn't that have been something? And that was where Fred Sanford got the inspiration, because one of his partners was Fred Sanford, actually. Red Fox.
Yeah.
Red Fox, yes. Yeah. Well,
Sanford, the person
Fred
that Sanford and Son is
AKA
based on.
Red Fox, yes. They're one and the same. They might as well be one and the same. No, but Red Fox was one of the people that Mantan Moreland partnered with in the 50s when he was trying to kind of keep his career moving, even though he wasn't getting as much film work. So it's just interesting that you brought up the comparison, because he worked with Mantan Moreland. So
yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, it may have been a little bit of an inspiration. I could just see him at any point in this, like faking a heart attack and calling out for his dead wife.
Right.
And it wouldn't be out of character.
Yeah, it's kind of that quippy one-liner kind of humor.
Well, again, like Mantan came out of vaudeville. Like he came out of, and I mean at that time they had, I think maybe this was for music, but they had something called the Chitlin circuit, which was more like for Jewish people, they had something called the Borscht Belt. Like there were different things that
it's just all food. It's all food.
Well, there were different kind of things that like performers, whether there was musicians or comedians, kind of like had like based on their, back in the days of segregation, kind of based on their basically whatever their background was. So you had people that would go on tour at just clubs for black people. You had people that would go to Jewish, just Jewish owned resorts. It was all kinds of different. It was just different, really fucked up back in the day, very segregated. So, I think Mantan certainly kind of had his, I don't know how much he really was on vaudeville, but certainly I'm sure he traveled all over the United States in different establishments doing his act. And at one point it was with Red Fox, so... Cool that you brought that up. Fun. That's what the show's all about.
Red Fox is standing by.
Red Fox standing by. Love it. Gotta love Family Guy. All right. Well, anything before we get into the exciting conclusion of King of the Zombies?
Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with.
He said that.
That's true. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We can all agree with that, certainly. All right. Well, Fresh, you got it queued up.
Yes, sir.
Then we are going to get into the exciting conclusion of King of the Zombies right now.
Oh, excuse me, Mr. Doctor, I'm in the wrong room.
Yeah, you don't want to be alone in a room with him. He doesn't like you.
Jeff,
my friend doesn't like you.
In there?
I don't like you either.
I've got something to show you.
You got something to show me.
That's right.
I know, Mr. Doctor, but I got business elsewhere.
Nonsense. This is far more important.
No, not to me, Mr. Doctor. What is the matter?
Songer shot first.
He really did.
Doctor.
Watch.
Watch.
He's definitely doing his best Lugosi.
That's where that lady went.
He looks too normal to be Lugosi.
He does, right? It's
Yeah, he
not.
just looks like the guy.
The ghost lady.
Yeah. Whose dad is in here?
The ghost lady.
When I think of him
Yeah, she
playing a
was right
strongman in Freaks, it's hard for me not to see a
Wait a
strongman
minute, Doc.
like under that
Now,
robe
wait a
and
minute,
tux.
Mr. Sandra?
He's definitely got an imposing stature, that's for sure.
Mr. Bill ain't gonna like this. Where's you taking me?
What?
Where's we going?
Come on, Mantan, put up a fight. Now he looks creepy there. That's some good lighting.
You again. What are you doing in here? Where's Jeff? I wouldn't know, sir. It's gone. You know about this, you devil. Give me that gun. I have no gun, sir. Don't lie to me. Somebody has. Where's Jeff? Where is he? And Mac, what's happening
He's
to
David
him?
Blaine now.
Who
The
took-
gun is actually in your back pocket.
I said I wouldn't know, sir.
I lost the fucking gun. I lost it.
I'm gonna find him if I have to search every inch of this island.
But have you looked behind your ear?
Look at this watch. See it move. Watch it. You have seen nothing. You know nothing.
Okay,
Repeat after me.
Schultz.
I have seen nothing. I know nothing.
I see nothing. I know nothing.
I don't even know
That's
my name.
Hogan's Heroes reference for those of you who
I am
are under the age of 50.
I am dead.
Fans of TV Land.
I am dead. I have returned to the land of the living. I am a zombie. I am a zombie. I am a zombie.
I am a zombie.
Hey, spammer in the YouTube chat. Holla. Kiss, kiss, heart, heart, wet.
Get over there where you belong.
Cheers.
Hot singles in our area.
Oh, I'm not on the YouTube chat.
Move over, boys. I'm one of the gang now.
That's pretty good. He can't stop.
Move over, boys.
Can't let the wisecracks go.
Zombies in this movie don't seem to do a whole lot.
No, but this is the first time I've ever seen a wisecracking zombie.
Yeah, I kind of like it.
I do like it.
Like, usually, I feel like the point of having a zombie like this is that you get free labor.
Yeah, like Lugosi's character in White Zombie, that was his whole,
Right,
yeah.
right. But this guy, I don't know that he's making great use of his zombies.
Not
He's kinda-
really, no.
Just standing
Just kind of
around.
having around if he needs them.
Just he doesn't know how best to utilize his zombies.
I thought it was so fresh. Fresh into YouTube, he said, yo, I just clicked that, I'm already getting some head.
Warning, you won't last 60 seconds.
You'll come in a millisecond, dude. Click this one link.
That doesn't sound pleasant at all.
You've got to get over this. You must speak to me. You must. No.
I love it.
So you're mixed up in this mess.
What's going on in here, see?
I know what you were trying to do. I thought Dr. Sangre was responsible for that. Now I see it's you.
No, I'm only trying to undo what already has been done.
By hypnotizing her still further?
But it's the only way you
Still
might believe me.
further? Or further still? I think he flubbed that line.
I suppose next
I think
you
it
and
was
your bunch will
further
be after
still.
me.
Still further?
Next.
I've never heard
Don't
that.
pretend that you don't know what happened to Jeff and Mac.
I know it. Look.
Mac, I forgot about him.
Oh, yeah, the other one.
The other white guy.
I thought he had a flower in his pocket for a minute.
Mac, tell me what's the matter. What happened? Where have you been?
Pocket square? Well, no, it's a hanky, you're right.
It doesn't do any good. Well, I hope you're satisfied.
Oh, I didn't.
He's wasted.
I saw your friend enter from the jungle. Is anything the matter?
What do you think?
Well, let's have a look.
I've seen Garrett like that once.
Many times.
I was afraid of that. He has
Hard to hold your head up
dangerous
sometimes.
jungle fever.
We've all been there, haven't we?
He must have medical attention at once.
But you're a doctor. See what you can do about it.
I'm sorry, it's beyond my powers.
I'm not that kind
You're
of
going to let him
doctor.
die.
Not at all.
I have a
There's a
PhD
native
in
doctor in the
literature.
village who knows more about this than I do. We'll send for him at once.
I'm actually a theologist. I don't
And then put up the
really, I do medical training.
I only know about blood. This is outside of my...
My name's Sangre, but I can't help you. Sorry.
Mr. Summers, this is Dr. Kui.
The real doctor.
Oh, yeah, I got a real doctor.
Dr. Kui was educated in your country, America. Precisely. This is the patient, I presume.
What the fuck? Where'd he pull this guy from on this fucking jungle,
Is he
dude?
a zombie too?
Yeah, they posted the opening on ZipRecruiter.
I'm sorry. There's nothing I can do. Nothing. Are you sure?
Wow.
Positive. This man has been dead since morning.
Nothing I can do. I'm still getting paid, right?
There's nothing I can do. This guy doesn't have insurance.
There's nothing I can do. I'm dressed in this
sorry
Colonel
about the death of your
Sanders
friend,
suit,
Mr. Summers.
so...
Hang on, let me go find a real
Has
doctor.
to be, I suppose. Did you have to bury him so soon?
It was out of my hands. The local law insists. The climate and something even worse.
Wasn't
makes it
expecting
necessary.
that.
You mean this voodoo zombie business, huh?
This voodoo magic is far more real than you think, Mr. Summers. You heard what Dr. Kui had to say.
No, but that's impossible. Dead since morning.
Things like that have happened before on this island. There are even whisperings going on among the natives that he was bewitched.
Bewitched? But why?
Bewitched!
What
Wow, wow, wow.
Maybe for prying into things that did not concern him.
Moment bitte, Doctor.
Komm sofort. Excuse me. What is it?
The radio. Word has just come through. They must have the Admiral's information at once.
We've got to make him talk.
At once.
They might perform the ceremony.
The rites of transmigration. Get everything ready. Inform Tahama. And get Madame Sangre to the dungeon.
Madame Sangre?
You heard me. Hurry.
So that's the other weird thing about this is there's like transmutation involved. They're trying to take the soul from one person and put it in another.
Tahama, the ceremony später unten.
I'll be right along. I'll have to go. You've got to feed the zombies.
Me? I can't stand zombies, and you knows it.
Do as you're told. And you'd better set another plate.
She's doing like a Stevie Nicks style delivery.
Company? You mean there's a new one?
That's right. The Irishman.
It's like a goat.
Upstairs.
Very Stevie Nicks. Witchy woman.
I do declare. Imagine us having a white zombie for dinner.
What's the point of clapping just to get, okay, zombies, I need you to help set the table. Mantan, you're the most experienced, so you get to lead even though you're a new zombie.
Oh, 1, 2. Gangway for Kid Zombie.
What you doing in that?
Gangway for
Don't
Kid
bother me,
Zombie.
Mom. Can't you see how it has been?
A zombie?
Nothing else but. And don't ask me my name, because I don't know. I don't know nothing.
You ain't no zombie?
Jesus
Zombies
Christ.
can't talk.
Can I help it because I'm loquacious?
Where'd you get this way?
I ain't telling nothing. All I know is that I joined the club. And as a member, I has privileges.
What privileges?
Privilege to get fed.
There ain't no new development with you.
Woman, where's my food?
There it is. Help yourself.
Where's the pie at?
It's like the zombie process only halfway took with him.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Half zombie.
Where's the white one?
What white one?
The one who
A
flew the
half
plane in
zombie
Sunday.
on my mother's
He's also
side.
one of the new recruits.
The only one I know about is the boys in my squad. Is this the best food you got?
Special.
Just being a zombie sure is a drawback. Why the salt?
You eats that the way it is and likes it. Zombies ain't supposed to use salt.
I thought you said.
I changed my mind.
Aw.
That's more like it.
Aw.
That's a lot of salt.
It's a lot of
that
salt.
woman, I ain't no heroin.
No.
He agrees.
Ooh, what is you trying to do? Poison me?
How's you feeling?
How should I feel?
You ain't feeling dead, is you? 'Cause if you is, then you's a zombie.
And if I ain't?
Then you ain't no zombie. The rule says if a zombie uses salt, he dries up and gets dead again.
How do I look? How do I look?
Take a look for yourself.
Well, according to this, I ain't dead.
That's all I want to know. So you ain't no zombie.
How you know?
'Cause when a zombie looks in the mirror, he don't see nothing.
A lot of rules to being a zombie.
Yeah.
That's me, all right.
How do they know this?
Well, I ain't no zombie after all.
He's
If
so
I ain't no
vague.
zombie, and there is, what am I doing
That's
here?
who the song was about.
Hey, where you going?
Yep, he's out of there.
I gotta get out of here.
Jeff, where have you been? What are you doing coming out of there?
One at a time, Mr. Bill. I just been reincarnated.
You what?
I just got de-zombified. That's the facts, Mr. Bill. But that's all I remember.
Jeff, you've got to remember. These zombies. Did you see any of them?
I just got to
Zombies, Jeff,
Any of them
you're
white?
crazy.
Why do you
What's
ask
up?
me that?
Show
Somebody
me
asked me
what's
to
up.
say-
Jeez, Jeff,
Come
I can't
on,
believe you're acting like this.
Is Mr. Mac dead?
He's so engaged.
Maybe he's the one that,
The one?
His
What
underacting
one?
makes the overacting look even worse.
Can you imagine me digging in a graveyard?
What about the graveyard?
Yeah, it's
No.
PEMDAS. It cancels
That
out.
couldn't have been me.
Oh, but Jeff, you've got...
What
Good
was that?
scream.
Sounded like a woman's scream.
What one?
I don't know, but it sounded like Barbara. I'll get the flashlight. Oh,
That was a white woman's scream. I can tell. Barbara. She's literally the only white woman in the house.
Oh, they in
I knew it was Barbara. I could just tell.
This way. Madame Sangre.
Madame.
That's what you got for trying to warn us. And whoever did it can't be far away.
You mean can't be too far away?
Jeff, look.
Eyes, if you look,
Jeff,
I am responsible
he
for
keeps
nothing you
doing
see.
that with his voice. I don't.
Mr. Bill, ain't that a coffin?
It's Max.
You don't think he done joined up with his armies, do you?
I don't know. But if that Sangre thinks he can use Max's body to...
What's the matter?
Listen.
Ooh.
Dun 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 dun.
I don't know, but it ain't Gene Krupa.
It's the same drums we heard the other night. Voodoo drums. We gotta find them.
Oh, Mr. Bill, ain't we found enough in one day?
Oh yeah, these are
No
clearly
telling what he's up
voodoo
to.
drums.
Max might be...
Obviously, bro.
Come on.
I'm coming.
And this is why it was nominated for Best Original Score.
Mr. Bill, does we have to do this?
Because of this.
I honestly don't know why. I don't know why this is any better than any Universal monster movie score.
Yeah, that kind of confused me.
I could tell you so many Universal movie scores that came out the same year that are better than this, and I don't know the difference. I don't know why this got nominated.
Somebody at Oscar just heard this drum. It's like, ugh, this
The
slaps.
Wolfman score is iconic compared to this.
Dun 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 dun. Oh, look. Yeah.
People are like, or in the book, they're like, what are they saying? I eat cocoa, I eat cocoa.
Remember how you got in? Think hard, Jeff. We've got to get in there.
Let me...
I eat cocoa.
I eat cocoa bean.
Cocoa beans. I eat cocoa.
Yeah, if you hunch slightly over, they won't see you.
Blend in. Act natural.
Nice. Nice mask. No makeup, no nothing. Don't even try to make him look like a zombie. I mean, those other guys, they have like makeup applied to their cheeks to make them look sunken and like their eyes. He didn't have anything.
Tell me, who are you?
I am Admiral.
Admiral Wainwright, what were your orders?
To go.
Stop! Stop! Mamba, you fool!
They heard that over the
She was
drums.
just going to talk.
Unbelievers.
That tiny little rustling.
Outsiders come in.
All right, you got me.
Get them!
Yeah, look at this fierce zombie
Go
leading
back.
the pack.
It's Bill. Bill Summers, your pal. Go back. Mac, go back.
Oh.
Stop! Stop them!
Stop. Stop.
Holy shit. Yeah. Oh, damn. Shoot him point blank. Ah! Oh,
fired.
Classic Mantan.
Did you contact the Coast Guard all right, Admiral?
They'll be aboard here for us in the morning. Now, how's your friend?
Those bullets didn't help him any. He'll need a little patching up when that Coast Guard cutter gets
Yeah,
there.
I would think he's pretty.
Hey, by the way, how did that insane
almost
doctor manage
dead
to get you on this?
He was already dead.
Well, he brought our plane down with a false radio beam.
Technically.
Killed the crew and tortured me to get information about our canal zone fortifications with his government. He didn't succeed at first. And then he decided to try this voodoo business.
Oh, you mean those rites of transmigration he talked about?
Yes, that's right. You see, he tried to transfer the Admiral's information to my brain. He was completely mad on the subject of hypnotism. Half the island was under his spell.
First, he tried to use Madame Sangre as a subject. When she broke under the strain, he used Barbara. I hate to think what might have happened if you hadn't turned those zombies against him.
You and me both. If there's one thing that I wouldn't want to be twice, zombies is both of them.
Yes.
And that's it.
Yes, Mantan.
Got the last
agree. Wow.
Zombies is both of them. Let's go.
Absolutely. Right. So,
I love that it ended on a quip.
Well, you have to. When Mantan is firing those one-liners the whole time, you can't not end with, some kind of decent one-liner. So that was King of the Zombies. What did we think? I mean, all things considered, it was cool to see the bad guy get pushed in a fire pit. I gotta say, was not expecting that. So that was fun.
Yeah, I liked all the quips. This one was all right. It felt like it dragged a little.
Yeah. Once you get past the initial kind of setup, you're like, all right, where is this going? How are we taking this to the next level? And we never really got the chance to really get invested or care about these characters. I mean, outside of Mantan,
right?
He
really stole the show.
He stole the show. So when one of those other two guys gets turned into a zombie, you're not like, oh no, Mac or Bill or whoever the fuck got turned into a zombie. You don't.
Oh my god! I can't believe that one guy is a zombie now.
Yeah, it doesn't. You don't give a because Mantan is literally the only one that has made an impression on you. So you're just kind of paying attention to what he's doing, and when the other guys are around, you're like, all right, what's up? Are you giving me any interesting information, or are we just kind of treading over the same ground? You guys do not believe there's any strange goings on, and little do they know, they found out very quick. It's. I mean, I think for an early zombie movie and an early horror comedy, it actually stands up pretty well, I have to say, compared to even things that would come after this, zombie movies that are really lame, horror comedies that are really lame. This really wasn't bad, all things. For a Poverty Row horror movie especially.
Yeah, that's fair, especially for Poverty Row.
Because we've seen a fair amount of Poverty Row movies on this program already, and I mean, I think boring is a word we can use with a lot of those. Dragging, certainly, with some of those other ones. There's a lot.
Yeah.
And so I think that when you stack this up to those, I think this actually is pretty good.
I'll say. I mean, like you said before, the set design on this was pretty good. I wouldn't, if you hadn't told me this was Poverty Row, I wouldn't have guessed so.
It was really surprising.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, between the set design, the lighting, and the camera work, you wouldn't know that it was Poverty Row. There's a lot more craftsmanship and artistry going into this movie than what we've seen before. So that's definitely interesting. You know, you think about Monogram did, you know, the other Monogram movie that I can think of that we really enjoyed was Invisible Ghost. And so it's funny to think about Invisible Ghost as a very kind of closed off movie when you compare that to this. This is, when you're talking about the World War II intrigue around the corner, you bring in zombies and transmutation.
Both kind of centered around like a one house.
Right. That is kind of the Poverty Row calling card, is that the location is going to be pretty much confined to one space. But they make it a little more interesting than normal here, especially with the exteriors. They're trying to, you know, they're putting as much foliage on screen as is in the fucking, you know, as they've got on the dock, as they can load up. And so it's, you know, it makes it interesting between the lighting and everything else. Yeah. It stands out a little more visually than what we've seen. So, yeah, I think on that front, definitely it can be commended. And then just as a horror comedy, it's important to understand that horror comedy was really in its infancy at this time. It was kind of it's not to say that a lot of filmmakers didn't approach comedy with a tongue-in-cheek, which I think they did. Even when you go back to silent movies, some of like The Cat and the Canary out of Universal, I think there's what you can call camp and, you know, tongue-in-cheek certainly. And so that just transitioned in the 30s. You got that from James Whale, was a filmmaker. If you've seen The Old Dark House, it's just all camp. So, but you could call that a horror comedy because it's kind of making fun of certain tropes that were just well known at that point. So the horror comedy really, but by 1940, early 1940s, it started to really become a thing and it really took off. So, you know, even to this day, I mean, you gotta love a good horror comedy. Everybody does. And so that kind of leads us into next week, which next week we're doing something totally new to the stream. We're doing something very special. We're doing a double feature next Friday. We had some scheduling stuff go on this season, different things at different times, but this is our last scheduled episode for the season. We'll take a week break after that, but we still have 2 movies that we need to show, so we're doubling up. We're doing a double feature. Yeah, strap in for the first Scream Stream double feature. It's very exciting. I'm very excited for it. But both of these movies pretty much are horror comedies. The first one that we're going to see is a movie called The She-Beast from 1965, 66, something like that. It is kind of, the comedy is a little more dry than normal because it's from the 60s. But there's plenty of horror content. There's witches, there's all kinds of fun stuff. There's gore. I mean, it's color. So, you know, we're getting, that's the good thing about this finale, this double features. We're going to get a color movie, we're going to get a black and white movie. So we're getting, you know, the best of both worlds. So we're going to see The She-Beast. We're also going to see The Gorilla. That'll be our finale from 1940, starring Bela Lugosi.
Man, the myth, the legend.
The man, the myth, the legend. We're going to end every season on a Lugosi movie. So The Gorilla is one of my favorites. It holds a spot in my heart, even though it's kind of thankless for Lugosi role. He kind of gets squandered, but it's a fun movie. I enjoy it. So I think it's a great way to end the season. Honestly, with a double feature, both of those movies, you won't be disappointed. It's going to be a lot of fun. You'll get blood. You'll get gore. You're going to get an ape, killer ape, staple of this program. We love them over here. So it's only appropriate that we have a killer ape Lugosi combo to end the season. So I'm very excited for it. That's going to be October the 28th. So that's basically our Halloween episode. So come celebrate the holiday with us. We are, this is our time of the year. Spooky season is actually almost over. So please. It goes so quickly. It really went by way too fast. So,
and are we starting at the same time?
We will be starting a little earlier. We'll be starting at 8 o'clock next Friday. So we'll be posting about that. You can find post updates on our Instagram page as Screamstream Show. Also our Twitter page as Screamstream Show. You can find the newest episode. Information about the double feature, trivia questions, all that good stuff. And yes, 8 p.m. So it's a little earlier than we're used to, but we should be wrapping up at about the same time. So please join us for that. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Be there or be pi squared.
Be there or be pi squared. It's the perfect way to celebrate Halloween. And it's, the horror movie tradition is double features. Double features is a staple of the horror movie. So we're happy to do it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Cannot wait. But until then, you can join us for one final episode of The Veil. Actually, the pilot episode of The Veil. So I don't even know if Boris Karloff is going to be in it, unfortunately. But one more episode. So we're getting it done. We're going to be through with The Veil. Fresh. I know you haven't gotten your veil fixed these past few weeks, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm really fiending for some veil.
Yeah. Well, you'll get one more. And then
I'm actually gonna be sick that day. So.
Oh no. Oh man. Yeah. Oh, I hate that. Well,
I feel a cold coming on. I think it's gonna hit its apex on Wednesday.
Yeah, well, this is the pilot episode, so I can't imagine it's going to be any better than anything you've seen from The Veil up to this point.
I don't see how it could get better. I mean, it's the best, best show ever.
It really is. So you can join us on Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern for that as well. You can also catch all of our past episodes on YouTube. Check us out over there. You can find Fresh Rogan on the socials at Fresh Rogan, correct? Right? You're not YouTube, Twitter, all that good stuff. I'll take that as a yes.
We cannot confirm or deny.
We cannot.
I'm sorry, you cut out on my end.
Oh, yes.
I'm sorry, you cut out.
No, sorry. I was just saying that you can be found on Twitter and YouTube and all that good stuff at at FreshRogan. Do you have a website at FreshRogan.com, or am I making that up?
I know. I do have a website at FreshRogan.com. It's really great, very modern. If you want to see my HTML5 skills, you should check it out. It's a really great website.
Wonderful.
FreshRogan.com. You can find all my links at freshrogan.xyz.
So check them out there.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Anything before we sign off tonight, boys?
Tiger style.
Hell
Tiger style. We're lasting longer than a head of lettuce.
God damn, isn't that the truth? All right. Well, until next Friday for the Season 3 double feature finale. Sweet screams, everybody.
Creep tight.
To all, a good Friday.